Happy Death Day, released in 2017, is considered one of Hollywood's most different and exciting thriller horror films. This film was made under the banner of Universal Pictures and was directed by director Christopher Landon. A story was created by combining time loop and murder mystery, which keeps the audience constantly thrilled. The name of the heroine of this film is Teresa Tree Gelbman, who is a university student. Tree is a beautiful, smart but a little selfish and arrogant girl. The main center of her life is herself. She does not care much about the feelings of others. The story begins with an ordinary day, but the same day repeatedly becomes the scariest day of her life. At the beginning of the film, Tree wakes up in the morning. She is in the room of a boy who seems like a stranger. That boy's name is Carter Davis. Carter is a simple, good-hearted and helpful student. Tree is a little surprised as to why she is in Carter's room. She drank too much the night before and doesn't remember much about how she got there. Carter speaks politely to her, but Tree doesn't pay him much attention. She hurries away and heads toward campus. Along the way, we are shown several events. A couple fighting, a girl standing around collecting signs for the environmental club. A roommate wishes her happy birthday. These are all details of that day, which become very important later on because the same events will be repeated every time. Actually, that day is Tree's birthday, but Tree does not want to celebrate her birthday in a special way. She does not like birthdays either because the memories of her mother from her childhood hurt her. When she reaches her dorm, her roommate Laurie Spingler wishes her happy birthday and gives her a cupcake. But Tree throws it in the trash without eating it. This is what holds special importance later in the story. Throughout the day, Tree is busy with her classes and activities. She also meets her professor Gregory Butler, with whom she is having a secret affair. Tree also interacts with her friends and Danielle, the leader of the college sorority. Danielle is a proud and conceited girl who is very conscious about her image. Throughout the day, we see that Tree's life is perfect from the outside, but from the inside she is lonely and troubled. In the evening, Tree gets ready for a party, but before she reaches there, she feels something strange on the way. She is walking alone, and suddenly she feels that someone is following her. She passes through a dark passage, and there she sees a strange masked person for the first time. This mask is like a baby face and looks very scary. The person slowly follows her. Tree gets scared at first, but then understands that maybe he is playing a joke. But suddenly the masked killer takes out a knife and attacks Tree. In a few seconds, Tree's screams are heard. Tree wakes up startled. She is again in Carter's room. She thinks it was a dream, but soon she realizes that the same day, the same events, the same people, everything is happening again exactly as it was. The same quarreling couple, the same girl holding the sign for the environmental club, the same car alarm, the same cupcakes. Tree panics, but then she convinces herself that it may be déjà vu. That is, having the same experience. The same events are repeated again at night, and eventually Tree is killed again by the same masked killer. Now the real thrill of the story begins. Each time Tree is murdered, and each time she wakes up in the same morning in Carter's room. No matter how hard she tries, that day does not end. Her birthday has become the day of her death. When Tree first saw the morning repeating, she thought that maybe it was a dream, but as she started living the same day again and again, she began to realize that this was not a dream but reality. Every time she went out at night, the masked killer would appear and kill her, sometimes by knife, sometimes by strangulation, sometimes by different means. After each death, she wakes up in Carter's room the same morning. At first, Tree tries to shake off the experience. She thinks it might be déjà vu or a mess in her mind. But when the same events keep repeating, her hostile roommate's cupcakes, the noise on campus, the same quarreling couple, the same car alarm, she becomes convinced that she is truly stuck in a time loop. Tree slowly begins to break down mentally. She thinks she may be going crazy. Tree now decides that if she wants to break out of this loop, she must identify her killer. She tries to avoid death each time and chooses different paths. One time she doesn't go to the party at all. Another time she leaves by a different route. Another time she thinks of taking Carter's help. But the result is always the same. The killer finds and kills her. Over the course of several days, Tree begins to suspect that the killer is someone from her life. Familiar, her list of suspects includes Danielle, the arrogant leader of her sorority; Lori, her dorm roommate, who appears nice on the outside but sometimes acts strangely; Dr. Gregory Butler, her professor, with whom she is having a secret affair; Gregory's wife, who could be the reason for her murder if she finds out about the affair; and some other college students with whom she has conflicts. Tree thinks that perhaps one of these is her killer. Despite facing death every time, when she wakes up in the morning, there is no major injury on her body. But gradually, her body starts feeling weakness and pain, as if the effect of every death remains on her body. Even after getting a checkup from the doctor, it becomes clear that her body is becoming abnormally weak. That is, if this continues for a long time, she can die forever. Over the repeated days, Tree starts trusting Carter. In the beginning, she ignored Carter, but now she feels that he is the only one who listens to her and is willing to help her. Tree tells Carter her whole problem, that she dies on the same day over and over again, and then comes back on the same morning. At first, Carter doesn't believe it, but when Tree tells him little events to come, like who will fight, who will set off the car alarm, Carter believes it's true. Now Carter also joins her in making a plan to find the killer. Each time Tree tries to live the day in different ways. Sometimes she hides completely. Sometimes she tells everyone the truth. Sometimes she remains safe in front of everyone at the party. But the killer is very clever. He somehow reaches Tree and kills her. Now the tension of the story increases further. Tree feels she must learn from each death to uncover the killer. She adds new information each time, and adds or removes people from her list of suspects. By now, Tree is certain that if she wants to break out of this time loop, she must see her killer's true face. Every day she wakes up, she knows she will die that night. But this time she is determined not to run away, but to identify her killer. Her first suspicion falls on her sorority leader, Danielle. Danielle and Tree did not have a good relationship. Danielle always tried to put Tree down and embarrass her in front of others. Tree thinks Danielle may be the one wearing the mask and trying to kill her. In one loop she chases Danielle, but it turns out Danielle was at a party with her friends. That means she cannot be the killer at that time. After this, Tree suspects her professor, Dr. Gregory Butler. Tree was having an affair with him, but Gregory was married. Tree thinks that maybe Gregory's wife came to know about this and sent someone to kill Tree. But when Tree investigates in this direction, she does not find any concrete evidence. Tree's roommate Lori always spoke sweetly. She also used to give her a birthday cupcake every morning. But Tree gradually feels that maybe this excessive sweetness is covering up the anger hidden inside her. However, Tree does not find any reason to directly suspect Lori. Every time Tree suspects someone, the masked killer appears while she is following or investigating. No matter how hard she tries, she cannot escape. Once the killer is standing outside the hostel in the dark and suddenly pounces on her. Another time, he kills her in the parking lot of a hospital. Once when Tree runs to the police, her car is crashed on the way. Every time it is death, and every time it is the same morning. Tree gradually understands that this loop is not just about death, but is giving her a chance to change herself, to understand the people around her, and most importantly, to find the killer. Now, instead of being afraid of death, she starts living every day as an experiment. Carter listens to her story carefully and tries to help her every time. In one loop, Tree even sacrifices her life to save Carter. From that moment on, Tree realizes that Carter is special to her. Whereas she was selfish and arrogant before, she slowly begins to feel a sense of love and responsibility. In each loop, Tree tries different things before she dies. She not only tries to escape the killer, but also tries to make her life better. In one loop, she meets and has dinner with her father, whom she had previously ignored. In one loop, she tries to truly accept her roommate Lori. In another loop, she goes to a party and confesses her truth to everyone. All of these changes show that the time loop has begun to change her from the inside. After a lot of investigation, Tree gets a clue that the murderer might be a serial killer named Joseph Toombs, who has been arrested by the police. Joseph was admitted to the hospital, and his dangerous image scared everyone. Tree thinks that he might be the one running away and killing her. But when she believes this and kills him, the next morning she wakes up again in the same time loop. That means this was not the real murderer. In the previous part, Tree thought that the murderer was the same serial killer Joseph Toombs. Toombs was hospitalized and accused of multiple murders. When she visits the hospital in a time loop, she finds Toombs trying to escape. Tree musters up the courage to confront him and manages to shoot him down. Tree believes she has finally found her killer and that the time loop will end. Tree relives the day differently. She meets her father, has a nice day with friends, and spends time with Carter. She feels it is the perfect day before the loop ends. At night, she returns to her dorm. Laurie gives her a cupcake again. This time, Tree eats the cupcake and is happy. But soon after, Tree's health deteriorates. She becomes confused, has trouble breathing, and eventually collapses and dies. In the morning, she wakes up in Carter's room again. Tree immediately understands that Toombs was not the reason for her death. Actually, her roommate Laurie had poisoned her, and she is the real killer. Now Tree remembers all her loops. Every time, Laurie used to give her a cupcake. Tree never ate it and used to throw it away. But the day she ate it, she died without using a knife. That is, Laurie used to wear a mask and become a killer, and sometimes used to kill her directly by poisoning her. Tree understands that Laurie's anger was on her affair with Dr. Gregory. In fact, Laurie also had a crush on the same doctor, and he hated Tree. For Laurie, Tree's death was just a way to extinguish the fire of jealousy and anger. Now Tree lives the day with full preparation for the last time. She takes every step carefully, and when the night comes, she comes face to face with Laurie. Laurie, in anger, confesses the truth. She says that she poisoned the cupcakes and kept hitting her repeatedly while wearing a mask. But this time Tree is not weakened either. There is a fierce fight between the two. Finally, Tree outsmarts Laurie with her cleverness and pushes her out of the window. Laurie falls down and dies, face to face. Tree says, "I know you've been doing this to me over and over again. This has to end." Laurie says in fear and anger, "You read all of my story. I was just doing what I wanted to." The two have a fierce fight. Laurie puts on a mask and pulls out a knife. But Tree is quick and alert. Tree pushes her away. Laurie falls out of the window and dies. Tree finally frees herself from her life and the time loop. After killing the real killer, Tree wakes up the next morning not in Carter's room. She wakes up to a normal morning.